So first of all, I can tell you, and we were talking about the different places that we speak or whatever. Everybody, as soon as the associations I speak to could get back to together face to face, everybody ran, jumped on planes, and got back together. There's like this
Yeah.
love of people, humans seeing each other face to face, shaking hands and hugging each other and talking to each other, whether they're wearing masks or not. It is a core human thing. And I think that, in this world that we're in right now, working remotely is it's a nice benefit to provide as long as it's balanced, like everything else in our lives. You don't try not to drink too much whiskey, but you can have some whiskey, you know what I mean? Or, don't eat too many, Big Macs, but you can have a Big Mac once in a while. It's all about balance and moderation. And I think that there is a middle ground that can be reached that makes, for a happy, productive workforce, but still gives them that development supervision they need. And then the other thought that I also have is, I mean, there are now studies that are coming out, surveys are coming out, Abby, that's just saying that. And surprisingly enough, it's the younger generations who desire to be in the office more than even the older generations, especially the ones just starting out. I mean, you're trying to develop your future leaders, and a 10-year span is a long time. Um, it is just there is something about working and being mentored and working with a team or a supervisor that you need to have that face to face to do. I know my kids are in their 20s, and they both work at big companies, and they prefer to go in the office and be near their bosses for that reason. So
Well,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think you're absolutely right. And I think what's interesting is that as the younger generation is anxious to get in the office more, they recognize just how much of the non-intentional conversations happen when you're in the hallway, or you come to the restroom or the cafeteria, or on your way to or from lunch or something like that, that they can't get when they're at home because there's no hallways, with anybody else in it. And the how quickly you can get responses if you can just pop your head into someone else's office makes a big difference. But I also think it's interesting that, to your point about the balance, what I have also read is that while the younger people do want to be in the office, they don't want to be in the office every day, all
Right.
day.
Exactly.
Flexibility and are demanding it.
They are, and they've been demanding it for years, Abby. We just ignored them up until the pandemic. I mean, they're smarter than us. Let's admit that. And they knew, 5, 7, 8 years ago, they're like, hey, we can work remotely 1 to 2 days a week. The cloud is fine. It's reliable. There's plenty of applications. It's fine. And we were the ones that were saying, nah, you get your butt in the office now because that's the way we've always done it. And the pandemic proved that they've been right all along. So I think it's just important. And I guess if you are going to want to sell your company in 5 or 10 years, I do believe that and you want to find the right buyer. That right buyer is going to want to buy a company that's got a great workplace attitude, where there's happy employees working there. And part of that is giving them the flexibility of remote working while still combining it with that face to face mentorship that I think so many people need.